Hey everyone, Eric with Rockin H TV on a good Sunday afternoon here in December, and I'm excited to host the first, maybe the last, who knows, the epic GreenLight Rockin H Showdown. Today we're going to go ahead and see which one of these two line up first. Here's a GreenLight truck, brand new to the market. I'm excited to give it a little once over because they're pretty cool. And then we have one of my beds that I have had 3D printed, and we're going to compare the two, see how they get along, and see what's good and what's bad about each. So we'll get on and let everyone gather in because it's been a little while since we've chatted. We're going to welcome Shane. Hello, Shane. Vaughn is watching. There you are, Vaughn. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. We have Garrett in the house. Always nice to have somebody from Colorado. So we'll get cooking here shortly. If you are new, haven't ever been in on one of these, make sure you give me a shout out, say hello. Say hello to the rest of the guys. There's a lot of them going to show up here that have seen this before or been a part of this before. So if you're brand new, sure would love to give me a shout out and say, hey. We have Brad and Chris. Chris is, I believe, what are you? You're a new dad, Chris, aren't you? Over there in New Zealand. We have Brad watching. Cole, welcome, welcome. Good to see everyone. Matt's watching. Been a while. If you've not paid attention on Facebook to what Matt Carter's doing in the oil field sector, give it a go. He's making a pulling unit. It's freaking amazing. Miguel is here. Welcome, Miguel. Sucking on a little soda pop today. Or Coke if you're in Texas. Getting ready for the Christmas season. Let me see. What's happening in the lab since we last talked? I finished this one last night. So this thing is ready to go. This isn't a Christmas present, so I can just show you. This is a guy's, I forget where he's from. Anyway, this is his truck, one of the trucks they have on their farm, this replica of that. Got a bumper on it. Got the tall sleeper. You can actually see where I did body filler. Can you see that right there? Maybe not. Anyways, I did some body filler and stuff like that on this, and then added some parts, fenders, and all that good stuff. So that one's ready to go. Hello from Phoenix. I bet it's warmer in Phoenix than it is here, although it's really nice right now. Hi, Cole. Good to see you. What else? Oh, I can show you this because from this vantage point, it won't be a giveaway. So we got this Ford. This is a replica of a truck. This is coming together. Probably finish this today. So the cab, I got to put pipes, tanks, and steps on it, and some rear mud flaps. But this truck is replica going. It's an odd sleeper, but I've never done one like this. That's why I did it. I thought that'd be kind of fun just to try something new. And then we got this crazy trailer, which is a replica of the guy's trailer he pulls. His wife is gonna give this to him for Christmas. But look at that. I mean, it's about as close as I can get it. Everything. This trailer took way longer to build. I totally did not bid this one correctly. Whoops. What else is cooking? Got a W900. I just got to make a two-tone red or white and blue. No big deal there. Just a replica for a guy. Jonathan from Greenwood, New York. Welcome. Glad to have you here. So I got a Christmas present. It's like 100th anniversary of this family's farm, or 150 years or something like that. Anyways, one of their trucks, going to do that. And then I have a retirement gift due at the end of the year for a driver of a regional company, red and black Peterbilt flat top, not a big deal, some decals, pretty easy. What else? Oh, and then I think I might do one more Pete for Christmas. If the guy responds, we'll find out. I gave him a bid and I haven't heard anything, so might have got scared away. Paul, welcome. Good to see you, Paul. Paul's my friend in England, for those of you that don't know. And going to go over and see him this summer. Spend a few days in English country. Go see some farm stuff over there. Excited for that. So it is 3 o'clock. And you know me, got to start on time. So here we are, guys. Welcome if you haven't been here. Rockin H TV. And today we're going to do an epic battle on the GreenLight truck, the GreenLight end dump versus the Rockin H end dumps. Here they are. So I'm going to give you an honest evaluation of both. You know, you might say, Eric, you're biased because you make your own stuff. Well, that's true. But there are some definite, I mean, the GreenLight, I mean, gosh, it is overdue to have something commercially made coming out on the market like this. You know, and frankly, I can't believe it's taken this long to get a commercially made end dump. Frank, I'm just shocked it's taken this long. So for those of us who are making our own beds out of whatever, 3D printed, out of styrene, whatever, diecast, there's some diecast versions too. Hey, from Joaquini, good to see you. James is here, and Scott, good to see you all. I think it's just long overdue. We've had this long honeymoon where we've been able to basically do whatever we want and get a premium or whatever we wanted to charge. And now we have a viable option that's diecast. Excuse me, the cab is diecast and the rest of it's somewhat plastic. But I mean, this is just an overdue model, and I'm not offended that GreenLight went ahead and did it. I think it's awesome they did. You know, there's a few guys that said, you know, the big companies are greedy bastards and blah, 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 and, you know, how can they step on the little guy? Well, they're not copying anything I'm doing. They just made their own end dump. I mean, power to them. I welcome this. This is great. Gosh, what more can I say about it? But then again, I don't believe in scarcity either. Out of the gazillions of people in the world, if I can't find someone to sell my stuff to, then I'm not doing it right. I'm not telling a very good story. And then another thing, and I don't mean this to sound bad, when I say it in my head and when I say it out loud, because I've said it out loud before, I said it to my wife, she's like, Eric, you're a judgmental prick. It sounds really bad. I said, no, it's not meant to sound bad, but the people that are going to buy this are probably not going to buy this from me anyway. So what do I care if GreenLight makes that? I don't care. Okay, so that's kind of my 2 cents on the whole thing. Now let's get to some comparisons. Okay, I'm going to flip you around. Let's take a look. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. Whoops, get my tools out of the way. So here we got at least one of about everything that I offer to the world. Okay, and then we'll get on with the GreenLight bit. So here's a little sample of about everything I make. Okay, so we have a KN16 low side. We have two KN, let me see, this is a 20. This is a KN20 high side, a KN22 high side, an MA22, and an AS22, and then a CA20. Okay, so these are all the beds that I offer, at least a sample of each. So let's first take a look at the GreenLight. Okay, number one. This is, okay, we're splitting hairs on this criticism. It's not that big a deal, but to me it is, because I'm kind of I love tandems, and I'm kind of a tandem Nazi. Okay, out in my country, and I don't know how it works in the rest of the world, but in my country, you really don't see modern cabs like this on end dumps, because most guys out here are, you'll see like this one, you'll see this and this and this and that and that. You'll see those as tandem or single axle end dumps, because guys are going to semis out here. I mean, it doesn't matter if they have grain bins or not. You see just everyone has traded off all their end dumps for semis, because obviously you can do a lot more with a semi than you can an end dump. So, I mean, and this is just a trivial matter, but you probably wouldn't see a modern cab like this with a grain bed. Not very common out here anymore, just because, like I said, for what this cost, you can buy a whole freaking semi and be able to haul, 1,000 bushels, depending on what you're hauling, and then you can buy several other trailers. Whereas a lot of times out in my country, out here in Dodge City, in the high plains, you'll see these with drill fill augers, and they pull them out once or twice a year to collect seed wheat and then take that wheat to town for cleaning, and then out in the, you'll see them in the fall when we're planting wheat out here, or what other bulk commodities. Sometimes you'll see them with soybeans, depending on what that particular farm is doing. So just a minor little thing, but the nice thing about this GreenLight is 1, 2 screws, three screws, and I haven't taken one of these apart yet, but 3 screws, pop that cab off, put another cab on, and you have whatever it is you want to go for. Okay. The bed itself measures, this is a 22-foot bed in real life. And the reason I know that is this bed measures 4 1/8 inches long. Okay. So let's just put a measuring device on here. 4 1/8, 22 foot scaled in 164 is 4 1/8. So we're just right at 22 foot, just a hair under 22 foot as far as the bed length goes. Okay. You got a cool, I mean, this is really nice. Look at that dump angle. Now let's compare mine. The dump angle, comparatively speaking, I mean, there's really no comparison. The dump angle is amazing on the GreenLight. Okay. How are we going to do this to make it even look? Look at that. I mean, there's no comparison on the dump angle. The GreenLight beats me all day long. And that is really cool. So kudos to GreenLight. You get a ladder on it already. You don't have to add an aftermarket if you don't want to. The back end gate, I love the end gate with the double doors. I've had guys say, Eric, why don't you offer that? Well, I never thought about it back when I did this. So just comparing the 2 end gates, there's really, it just depends on what you want, really. If you want a more modern look, I don't even know if this is modern necessarily, but if you want this look, the GreenLight's got it and it's cool. I gotta say, I mean, you have the latches over here, pretty awesome, lots of details, cool. Whereas mine is on all of them, well, maybe not that one. Well, on this one, for example, you can see, you know, on mine, there's just not a lot of comparison there. Just a lot more detail on the GreenLight. And then the other nice thing about the GreenLight is you don't get some of this weird crap from 3D printing. Now, I could have sanded that out, but on the GreenLight, guess what? Doesn't arrive and you don't have to sand it. It's just perfect when it shows up. So some differences between 3D printed and the GreenLight, the way it is. Love this. Got a cool end gate that opens up. So if you want to make this a silage truck like this, guess what? You know, well, yeah, that does open, but it catches, so it's stupid. You could easily buy silage racks out of my Shapeways store or make your own out of HO scale ladder and bridle tool or wire or whatever you want. You could easily make this a silage truck, okay? Now, this particular rack goes with this bed, so you would want the silage racks that go on the MA. If you wanted to buy 3D printed, you'd buy the MA22 silage racks, and they would fit this truck. You know, I didn't look to see how that might fit across the top. Yeah, that should fit. Yeah, that should fit. It'll be just maybe just a splash narrow, but that should actually work okay. You'd have to, well, and okay, so we're not going to get into that. Not to get sidetracked. You got a cool tarp. They put all this little texture in there so it looks like it's, you know, a real amazing real life tarp. And then it snaps into place, so ta-da. You know, you can go down the road or however you want to do it. So that's pretty cool. Do like that. That's just a nice feature. And apparently it's outsmarting me. Oh, duh. Yeah. And it does have a front and back side. Okay, so that's pretty cool. I do like that. That is awesome. Got a window in the back. Pretty cool. This one kind of sticks when you pull it up. So that's kind of, but that's just, you know, whatever. The whole thing's plastic, just like mine. The hoist is plastic. Everything's plastic. No big deal. I think, and I haven't done this yet, but I would imagine you pull this pin and then it looks like there's a screw holds your hoist here. I would reckon, and it looks like there's a pin where this part of the hoist goes into this plastic piece here. And is that frame's diecast? I'm going to guess it wouldn't take a whole lot to mount this on a DCP frame. Okay? Now you do have these stringers down the middle, these beams going down the center, which I accomplished that same feature with this frame. Ooh, that's kind of tight. Why is that so tight? That's weird. Anyways, probably because I glued it together yesterday. and I got glue someplace. So this frame right here and this frame accomplish the same task, and that is to give you some clearance for your hoist and all the internal parts to move around once the bed is closed. Okay, so on mine, this all would just slide right between your frame rails like so. So I'm not certain why this would not go right onto a DCP truck or frame. I can't imagine it'd be very hard. So we'll see. Now, a couple of pitfalls with this GreenLight. Oh, I guess the biggest advantage to the GreenLight over anything I have here, okay? And I had one guy say, isn't this the same thing? No, they're not the same thing. See these lines? Mine doesn't have those lines. Anyway, the biggest thing is I bought this from Troy's Toys. Here it is, $27.40 shipped to my house. Okay, so here it is. The Workstar was $15.99, and the reason I bought it online is because I can't buy anything in the world out here. I have to buy everything online. So we had shipping was $9.95 plus some tax. This truck here costs $27.40. Okay. So if you were to buy any one of my bed kits, I forget what I hate this. I should have looked before I got online. I think these are $24.99 just for the kit plus $8.99 shipping. Okay, so right away, this is the better deal. And then you have no assembly. You just put it to work, or you take it apart and repaint it, or put decals on it, or switch out the cabs. Guess what? You got a really cool truck for $27 with no added labor. That is awesome. This is that by far. And for those of you that, you want an end-dump truck, but you don't want a replica. Well, this is perfect for you. And the price point is just stupid. It's great. I mean, it's just awesome to have that price point of $14.99 plus shipping, depending on where you live. And for those of you that have this kind of stuff in your backyard, holy crap, you go to the store, buy 4 or 5 of them, and I mean, you can't buy that many of these for that, and then just take them out of the package and put them to work. All of mine, you have to do a lot of extra labor to, and that's before you do a thing. So that is, to me, the biggest selling point of this. So you get awesome price, humongous awesome price, fantastic price. You get an awesome dump angle. It's great. You got the detail of the ladder, a cool end gate, an end gate that opens up so you can make it a silage truck if you want to do that. And then, if you don't like the wheels, you can pull them out and put different wheels on them if you want. I mean, just huge, huge value in these trucks. So I think they're really awesome. I think they're cool. Now, let's talk about mine for a bit. One disadvantage of this is it is on a Workstar. I don't particularly care for the Workstar. So, you're going to, in my opinion, this is not my favorite truck, which you can swap out pretty easy. Or it looks like you could swap out pretty easy. Maybe I should say that. 2, you're locked into a 22-foot bed. That's it. That's all you get. That's the only choice at the moment. Now, they may do something different. I kind of doubt you're going to, it would shock me if there was any other size other than a 22-foot offered. And the reason for that is these guys at $14.99, they're going to make all their money on volume. They're not going to make it on price. So they have to sell a crap ton of these to make any money. Whereas if they were to say double the price, make it instead of $14.99, make it $30 and then offer 3 sizes, well, now they can make it on price versus the amount they sell of one item. That's just simple economics. I can get away with offering a 22 high side and a low side. I can get away with selling a 20-footer and an 18, which I don't have shown. But then again, mine also cost almost double of what this one does. And you're only buying a kit. You don't get the cab. So if you're looking for a specific look, I'm your guy. But if you're just wanting a very well-priced end dump just to stick on a layout or do something with or customize however you wish, this is a fantastic option. You just can't beat that. I mean, really. So, and then you could say, well, Eric, I'm gonna buy these and resell them. I'm gonna customize them and resell them. There again, because you're buying them so cheap and you don't have to really do much to them, okay, you can sell them for, I mean, if you put an hour of work into them and maybe $10 worth of decals, you can sell this for $60 or $50, where I have this thing on eBay right now for $150. Okay, I got a $20 cab, the labor to stretch this bad boy out, my kit, I mean, and then again, you don't have I didn't put mud flaps on it or anything. It's just kind of a basic Ford L9000. So, and then this one, you know, I wouldn't, this back tandem here was off of a dry van, a DCP dry van. I think I've seen these rear axle housings running for like $10 on eBay, or maybe 15. So you got 15 in that, 25 in a bed. So now we're what, 35? Or excuse me, 40? Plus a $10 international, there's 55. And then I bought a $15 Ford just for the wheels. So now I got another 15. So we're up to what, I don't know, all of you can do the math, but we're up at 75 in parts. Haven't even walked across the street. Oh, not to mention, I had these decals made. So, you know, you've already got a lot of money in this and you haven't even done anything yet. You just assembled the parts. So if you were making this to sell, you're going to have to, first you got to get your parts back. Then you got to get all your labor back, putting it together. And to do something like this, you're going to spend, I don't know, a couple of hours anyway. And even if you paid yourself $10 an hour, which is, don't ever do that. Don't ever charge 10. Charge 20 or 15 at least for your custom work. You know, you're getting into some top dollar right away. And that's the reason this thing here has not sold. Oh, and I busted a bumper off. That's the reason this hasn't sold. It's just because it's a higher priced vehicle. And somebody that owns this will be the one that buys it. If somebody has something that looks like this, that's going to be the buyer. Because they're like, oh, that's my truck. I'll give $150 for it. Yeah, and same thing on this thing. You got $10. I mean, again, you're going to spend some time getting the two-tone right, putting floats on it, different wheels and things like that. So again, great value for what it is you're getting. Okay, so let's talk about some comments here. I had Tom and let's talk about, Okay, so Ward says, I'd rather stick with a couple options of, looks like my gimbal has a bad idea, has a bad attitude. Okay, here we go. My gimbal doesn't like me jacking with my phone. Ward says, I'd rather stick with the options of what you offer. Well, thank you. Again, it really depends on what it is you're going for, what look you're going for, and all that kind of thing. And look at that. Managed to break that too. Huh, that's cool. Don't grab it like that. Tom says, with better engineering, GreenLight could have made that dump bed a home run and still made their money. I suppose. You know, this thing is rated for people who are 8 years old. I think that's what the package said. Yeah. So the package for this says this is for people 8 years old and under. So this was not designed for super freaks like me. This was designed for moms and dads that, you know, their son wants a toy that he can destroy, and they're only out of $14. So keep that in mind. I'm not sure what's going on with my gimbal, but anyway, so I'm just going to hold it here. So I think it's worthwhile to keep in mind that this is for 8+, and this is for a guy who's 40 or 35 and has got a layout, and it's going to sit on the layout and never move. Okay? Or this one. I mean, all the ones you see up here, they are not designed for 8-year-olds at all. And anyone that, I've had some parents say, hey, my son wants one of your models, and I'm like, well, one, you don't want them destroying something you just paid $200 for, or 150, or anything else. And then two, I wouldn't feel good about having that in your home with someone who might choke on the parts. Okay, what do we got here? There's another comment. Yeah, Joe says little competition is good. You know, and frankly, I don't feel like I'm in competition with GreenLight because I'm not selling to the people they're selling to. As I just explained, this is intended for 8 years. This is rated for people 8 years old and up. Okay, so a kid that's 8 or 9 or 10 or whatever, they're going to run around on the carpet and out in the lawn and in the sandbox, and the mirror's going to be busted off 4 days after they get it. It's not designed for people like you guys watching necessarily, unless you're just after a really well-priced end dump. I mean, super, super price. Okay. Shade says, I'm not going to complain. A lot better choices and options than when I was growing up. Absolutely, you're right. And Joe says, agreed to something. Okay, so that is what we got cooking. Is there anything else that I can answer? I feel like they would be good to use on your parts. Yeah, thanks. Yes, it would. You could use parts on those pretty easy. Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and switch the camera back around. And let's just chat a little bit. And I'm actually going to, I think my gimbal needs some fuel. So it's not really behaving well. I think they're great, but there are people that just enjoy building them. Absolutely. Yeah, Ward's going to get one for his grandson. Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? It's cool, and you can spend $15 and boom, you got a great little gift for your kid or your grandson or whomever, and you can feel good about spending the rest of your dollars on something that's custom that you want to look a specific way. All right, is there any comments you guys have for me? Now's a good time to put this together, or excuse me, good time to ask questions if you got them. If you want to see something that I have down here that maybe you didn't get a good close look at, please ask. Michael says, lots of options are good for the hobby. I don't disagree. Again, I can't iterate. I'm not a big scarcity guy. I just really resist. I just resist thinking, oh my gosh, how do I explain this well? You know, it's kind of like toy shows. There are some toy shows that certain vendors will go to, and then they get upset when other vendors selling similar products are at. And and I laugh because again, if you guys do the things that I teach and the things that I do, you will never have to worry about customers because you'll always have good clients. You'll always have good clients. You know, if you take a play out of my book, I teach everything I know. And if you want to know something, I'm going to tell you, I don't care. Because if you're asking, you're really not my competition because you're not going to buy from me. You're not going to buy from me if you're saying, Eric, how do I make X, Y, Z? Well, you want to do it yourself. So why do I care if you make it? And I've got a couple of guys watching. One of them in particular helped me get me going. That he bought a bunch of stuff from me in the early days, and he doesn't anymore. He doesn't need me anymore, and that's great. I couldn't be happier that I lost a client because they're now doing their own thing. I think it's absolutely wonderful. So, yeah, I really struggle with the idea that of scarcity. I just can't believe out of 1 billion people you can't find someone to sell your crap to. Okay, Justin says, I think it's a good start base for customs. You're exactly right. It's a wonderful base. I mean, get rid of that Durastar cab, and I think you got well, and I really don't care for, I don't care for the wheels. And not that they're bad, I just don't like the style. Yeah. Tom says, too many people wrapped up thinking they are the only one to customize sell. Yeah, I agree. And again, that's that scarcity mindset. If you're making something that I'm making, that means I'm not going to be able to sell my stuff. And that's simply not the way the world works anymore. It used to, And if your only way to sell stuff is to make a bunch of things, set at a toy show, and hope someone buys it, you have a lot of reason to be fearful. However, if you move your business to the internet and you tell people you're making world-class models and not toys anymore, you're going to sell stuff. And if you show people how you do stuff, you're going to sell things. I mean, that's just the way it's going to work. I'm proof. Not that I did everything right. Not that I do it all right. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying I can't keep up. So if that tells you anything, I don't know what more I can tell you. Okay. On a side note, I'm working on... this is Matt Carter speaking. He says, working through the process of getting pulling unit kits, excuse me, puberty, pulling unit kits made. That is awesome. That'll be, I tell you, any of you guys watching, if you need a business opportunity, you start making oil field stuff in 164, and I imagine, I'm gonna guess you're gonna be busy because no one's doing it in any concerted effort that I'm aware of. You see a few guys making pieces here and there, but no one's saying, I'm going to go down to Woodward, Oklahoma, or North Texas, and I'm going to go show photos of vac tanks and vac trucks and matching trucks for their fleets, and I'm going to go sell that stuff to them. Or maybe a gin truck with poles and a pump jack on the back of it. You know, you start making that with on purpose, I think you're going to do pretty well. Because no one's doing it. No one's doing it. You know, I've made a few gin trucks, but, you know, that's not near what I could be doing. Not near what I could be doing. But mostly I'm busy doing other things anyway, so that's an opportunity for someone, especially if you like doing it, like Matt's doing. He'll do all right. Do I have a date for the Dodge City Toy Show next month? Yes, it's going to be on, was it the 25th? The last, I don't even have a calendar in here. The last Saturday of January. So instead of the third Saturday, it's the fourth Saturday. Yeah, Brad says he's trying to keep up building oilfield customs in Alberta. Yeah, sure enough. That's where the oil's at, and that's where people got money to spend. Yeah, thank you. 25th, Ward. Excellent. And if you come up Friday night, I think there's going to be a social gathering here in the lab or someplace, Justin. So if you have some hotel room, it might be worth your while to come up Friday night. So what we do is we're all going to get set up, and then we'll gather up someplace and tell lots of tall tales and probably drink some barley pops and go forth. Okay. All right, guys. With that, hey, you're welcome, Shane. I'm glad you're here. If you didn't notice, I had a little handwritten note out there, diecastlab.com. If you've been wondering where some of my videos went, they're still on Facebook, but all the stuff on YouTube I've kind of made, I have made unlisted, and they now live in the Diecast Lab because I went ahead and organized all the videos that I've got. I'm in the process of writing more descriptions and getting some transcripts and links and things like that to make them more valuable, so there are less questions about what it is you're viewing and then how to do what I do. So there's a whole segment on 3D printing. I mean, and I've got more content to go in there. I haven't got the layout stuff done yet just because I haven't had time to get to the layout stuff the way I want. But then a lot of other stuff is already there, and I'm expanding on what I can offer in there. I have found, Tom says, I have found that when you start creating things just for yourself, people see it and start buying it, then they start showing off what you do. People come to you. Yes, that is exactly right. Yes. Yep, that is exactly right. People, it's amazing how fast it spreads. If you're doing some interesting work, and it doesn't even have to be really amazing work, it could be just good work, you know? This is a nice piece, not a perfect piece. If it's reasonable, if it's nice, you're gonna do okay. And especially if you're sharing stuff online Instagram and Facebook are the two, especially Facebook, is a great place to be. Most of my work comes from organic search on Google and Facebook. That's the way it works. So, all right, guys. With that, I'm going to let you go. If you have any other comments or questions, do not hesitate to leave them in the comment box down there. I'm glad to answer anything I know. If you haven't started teaching everything you know, you should. That's what my philosophy is. Teach everything you know, and you're going to be fine. So, hope you enjoyed this. Hope you enjoyed this little showdown. I appreciate you being here. I know some of you have football games to get to because it is Sunday after all. So with that, I'm going to let you go. Have a great week, and I thank you for watching. Bye.